Hi, my name is Chris. Today we're going to talk about all the different ways you can play a D chord. This is a concept that early in guitar may be lost, but also late in guitar may be lost. So the idea is that we're just going to talk about each different voicing that you could possibly play on a D chord, starting from the very basic power chord shape. This is on your 5th fret of your A string. You're going to have the 5th fret, the 7th fret, and the 7th fret as you're going down your string. So that's 5th on the A, 7th on the D, and then 7th on the G. This shape is very well known in, punk, metal, all those types, even pop music. It's a very easy chord in the aspect that it's not major or minor, so you get neutrality in your chord voicings. It's also easy to palm mute. Next voicing we're going to look at is a major bar chord. Now you can play this off of two different roots. I'm going to show you from A would be 5th fret, 7th fret, 7th fret, 7th fret. You're barring with your ring finger down the line. We can also look at this from the perspective of an E string. On your E string, that's going to be 10th, 12th, 10th, 12th, 12th, 11th, 10th, 10th as you're going down your strings. So it's going to sound like that. Okay? Both of these voicings you can take and make smaller, right? So if we're doing a 6-note voicing on that on your E string root, you can cut that down to 5, and now take out your pointer finger and just let it bar on the bottom and mute your E string. Right now we can cut that down to 4 and just have your 12th fret, 11th fret, 10th fret, 10th fret. Now we got kind of a chimier voicing, and then we can even cut it down to just 11, 10, and 10. Right now we got extra fingers. We could do a little bit more there. So those voicings sound like that. All right, now the next step of this would be to add what are called upper extensions. This would be your 7ths and above on your chord tones. When we're talking about this, we're saying that the root of the chord would be D, the 3rd of the chord F sharp, 5th of the chord A, C sharp would be the next one if we were doing what's called a major 7 chord, and that's going to look like this. So this is going to be 5th fret A string, 7th fret D string, 6th fret G string, 7th fret B string, and then bar on the top to get your E string. It's a very common sound in jazz, R&B, hip-hop, tons of different stuff. So that's off of your A string root. You can also play this off of your E string root. It is a little harder. It's what's called a shell voicing, meaning that you're going to play your E string. On the 10th fret, you're going to skip the A string and mute it. Make sure you mute it. Then you're going to put the ring finger on the 11th, then the 11th with your pinky on the G, and then your middle finger on the 10th. Again, a little bit tougher because you have to mute a couple strings around there. If you don't, these are all movable shapes. So say, for example, you do this on a B chord, right? Sounds nice until that A string kind of comes into play. All right, so that's the sound there. That's the sound there. Now, the last couple would be what are called your upper extensions, right? So that would be your D major 9 shape. You're adding like a 9th to it now. That would be 5th fret A, 4th fret D, 6th fret G, and 5th fret on your B. Really nice voicing. There's a billion of these. You can kind of like play. You can play this voicing. We could play this voicing. There's a lot of different ways to go, but one of my favorites is what's called a quartal voicing. This is not chordal, quart, like a quart of ice cream, right? So the idea is that you're stacking in fourths instead of thirds. Typically speaking, on your chords, you're stacking in either fifths or thirds. So the idea of this would be that you have 5th fret on your A string, 6th fret on your D, 6th fret on your G, and then 7th on your B string. It's a little dissonant, but I love it. Sound of that, right? You can't really do this so much on your E string. You can, they just don't sound particularly as good, right? Mostly because they kind of all sit in the same region. But if you do it on your A string, you can do that. There are also tons of chordal voicings for your other chords, right? So your minor chord, for example, if we did a D minor, I was playing that, I could take that and stack that in fourths and get that, which would be the 5th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret. If I wanted to do this on a dominant 7th chord, it's a pretty common sound that people play. You would just bar your 5th fret all until you get, well, you bar your entire 5th fret. It would be just that sound. You can also add, if you want, a little little upper extension on there, so that would be just barring your whole 5th fret. But as you can see, tons of different ways to play the same chord. The ones that we didn't mention, D major as an open chord, everybody kind of knows that one. And then using your D string as a root to play different shapes up top. This is using your open strings to your advantage, right? So, alright, so just to go through all of them, your power chord shape, your major bar chord, your general major open chord, your open string combinations, and then your major 7, and then your major 9, and then your chordal voicings. So you can see there's a lot of different ways to play D.